I hear H is for hero.
It doesn't feel right.
I told you that first day.
Like you saw a dark spirit. He's not a cop.
I'm starting to think he's a psychopath.
If he's not a cop, what is he?
He's a dark fucking spirit.
What the hell are you doing?
Sit down.
The film opens in a scene of brutal chaos. A Fortico armored truck is ambushed in the middle of the road, drenched in blood. This is not an amateur robbery. It is a cold, calculated execution carried out with terrifying precision. The story then shifts to the arrival of a mysterious man named Patrick Hill, later known simply as H. He applies for a job at Fortico. With an impressive resume, the manager, Terry, hires him on the spot, guided through his first days by a veteran guard named Bullet. Yet something about H feels off. Despite his dangerous aura, his shooting and physical test scores come back at just 70, barely enough to pass. It feels intentional, as if he is deliberately holding back.
May I introduce H?
His coworkers, especially the cynical Dave, openly mock him. Convinced H has no idea how deadly it is to guard shipments worth billions.
We ain't the predators, we're the prey.
It's a tragedy.
After work, Bullet invites H out for drinks with the team. Tension rises when H clashes with Jones, but instead of reacting with anger, H responds with a calm that feels deeply unsettling.
Let me buy you a beer. Just make sure you drink it over there.
The real test arrives the very next day. During a cash delivery, Bullet is taken hostage by a gang of armed robbers. Dave panics, nearly fleeing in terror.
This is such a bad idea.
But H reacts differently. He remains calm.
You need to pull yourself together.
Unnaturally calm. Without hesitation or fear, H steps out to face the attackers. Not as a victim, but as a predator. With chilling precision and elite-level accuracy, he single-handedly eliminates the entire crew.
Suck my fucking dick.
Suck your own dick.
H methodically studies the faces of the dead robbers, as if searching for someone specific. When federal agents later interrogate him, his skills raise serious red flags. How could a guard with mediocre test scores kill 6 armed men without a single scratch? H simply answers, flat and emotionless, just luck. Strangely, the agents, fully aware of who H really is, let him walk free. They understand that allowing H to remain at Fortico is the perfect bait. Somewhere out there is a much bigger target. Back at the office, H is now treated like a god of war. The company owner refuses to move him to an administrative role and instead showers him with praise. But behind the scenes, H works in silence. 3 months pass and the second test arrives. Their armored truck is ambushed once again, this time flooded with tear gas. But when H calmly steps out of the smoke, something strange happens. The heavily armed robbers panic and flee at the mere sight of his face, as if they've just come face to face with the devil himself. This unnatural reaction raises serious suspicion. Terry, the manager, begins to sense that something is deeply wrong. Who exactly is H? If even criminals are terrified of him, H then uses the situation to get closer to Dana, his female coworker. What begins as a brief hint of romance quickly turns into a ruthless interrogation. H pulls a gun on her, demanding to know the origin of the stacks of cash hidden in her apartment. Faced with death, Dana confesses she's nothing more than a small-time thief exploiting loopholes in the system. Not part of the crew, H is hunting. H lets her go, but not without a chilling warning. If she's lying, her entire family will pay the price. The mystery reaches its breaking point. Who is this monster pretending to be a security guard? The film then drags us into the past, revealing a truth far more terrifying than anyone imagined. 5 months earlier, we see a different side of H, a warm, caring father preparing to take his son, Dougie, to a basketball game. But one phone call shatters everything. Mike, H's most trusted man, reports chaos within their operation. Here, the truth is exposed. H is no ordinary man. He is the leader of a powerful criminal syndicate to handle the situation personally. H stops by the Fortico cash truck route, parks his car, and leaves Dougie inside for just a moment while he checks on the operation. Tragically, that moment is when hell breaks loose. It's not H's crew that strikes, but a different, far more ruthless gang. Dougie's car blocks their escape route. Without hesitation, the robbers execute him on the spot, treating the child as nothing more than a loose end. H rushes back, too late to save his son. Instead, he is met with a hail of bullets, collapsing to the ground, bleeding out beside the body of the one person he loved most. 3 weeks later, H awakens from a coma after surviving 4 fatal gunshot wounds. But the truth waiting for him is far more devastating than the bullets. Dougie is dead. His wife, shattered beyond repair, looks at H with pure hatred, calling him the reason their son was taken from them. Their marriage collapses. H does not cry, but inside him, the man is already gone. What remains is a creature fueled solely by vengeance, using connections to corrupt federal agents. H obtains a blacklist of every gang operating in the city. What follows is a blood-soaked purge. H unleashes his men into the criminal underworld, abducting, torturing, and executing gangsters one by one in search of a single name. One mafia member finally breaks, whispering about the infamous Gashi brothers, a crew feared by everyone. But to H, they are nothing more than ants.
Gashi brothers.
He wipes out their entire operation without mercy, only to uncover a bitter truth. They weren't responsible. The city drowns in blood, yet his son's killer remains at large. At last, Mike dares to confront him.
Can I speak candidly, boss?
This madness, he warns, is pointless. If H continues down this path, the rampage will destroy their own organization from the inside out. Realizing that brute force has led him nowhere, H completely changes his approach. Without informing his men, he decides to walk straight into the lion's den. A new identity is created, and thus, H, the mysterious Fortico security guard, is born. At this point, every piece of the puzzle finally falls into place. The camera then shifts to another group, former elite soldiers, led by a man named Jackson. On the surface, they live ordinary lives. Jackson himself works as a mall security guard, but beneath that quiet routine, they are suffocating, broke, disillusioned, and addicted to the adrenaline of war. What begins as a half-joking plan to rob a greedy employer quickly evolves into a full-scale military operation. They start hijacking armored trucks with soldier-like precision. Small successes feed their hunger, pushing them further. Eventually, Jackson announces a reckless new target, an armored truck carrying 6 times the usual amount of cash. The information comes from a mysterious insider, a former brother-in-arms from their past. After 6 weeks of brutal military-style training, execution day finally arrives. Disguised as construction workers, the team moves into position. This is the tragic moment. The operation that was meant to be clean collapses into chaos because of one man, Jan, an arrogant psychopath who panics when his face is accidentally seen by Dougie H's son. Jan doesn't hesitate. He pulls the trigger without a second thought. In that instant, the truth is sealed. Jan is the man H has been hunting all along.
Move. Exit west, we gotta go!
5 months after the incident, Jackson reunites his crew for what he calls the big one. This time, the target isn't an armored truck. It's Fortico itself. The prize, trillions in cash. This suicidal plan is only possible because the inside man is now deeply embedded within Fortico. 3 weeks later, the day arrives. Jackson says goodbye to his family as if it's just another ordinary morning, then goes to pick up Jan. When Jackson sees Jan's apartment overflowing with luxury goods, he explodes in rage. The recklessness alone could attract the police. Back at Fortico, the vault is filled to the brim. The tension is suffocating, as if a massive storm is about to break. The truth finally spills on the road. A shaken Bullet confesses to H. He's the inside man working with the robbers. H swallows his fury. The man he's been hunting all this time has been sitting right beside him. H pretends to agree, playing along, allowing Bullet to guide the crew straight into Fortico's fortress.
Yeah. We have a deal.
The truck rolls in without resistance, but once inside the warehouse, hell erupts. With his hands bound, H breaks free and turns the robbery into a battlefield. Amid the storm of gunfire, H kills one of the robbers, but his true objective isn't the money, slipping a tracking phone into one of the stolen cash bags. Elsewhere, Bullet reveals encouraging his true nature. Without hesitation, he executes his own co-workers from behind, including Dana. H manages to save his manager. But moments later, he's taken down by a bullet that shatters his leg. The robbers escape with trillions of dollars in an armored truck, leaving H behind, bleeding, broken, and barely clinging to life. On the run, true human nature finally reveals itself. Jackson is dying, a gunshot wound tearing through his neck. Jun, the most unhinged of them, all sees opportunity. Instead of helping, he slashes Jackson's throat and executes Bullet without hesitation. Jan wants the mountain of cash all to himself. Escaping through a hidden tunnel, he believes he has won everything.
Too fucking slow.
Time passes. Jan now lives in luxury, safe inside his apartment, convinced he is untouchable. But his illusion of security shatters when a phone inside one of the cash bags suddenly rings.
What you gonna answer?
H steps out of the darkness. He hasn't come for the money. He places a file on the table, Dougie's autopsy report. Under the threat of a gun, Jan is forced to read it out loud. It's detailing where the bullets tore through the body of an innocent child. The liver, the lungs, the spleen,
Cause
and the
of
heart.
death, blood loss and trauma.
It's samurai.
Without mercy, H shoots Jan in those exact same vital points.
By the way, his name was Dougie.
Jan collapses, lifeless, bleeding out atop the money that no longer means anything. The mission is complete. H hands Jan's body over to federal agents who erase every trace, then disappears into the shadows, leaving behind a legend of a father who burned the world to avenge his son.